Welcome everyone to week number 6. It's one after this one more week. We're gonna have two matches today. It's gonna be Sapphire with Catnip versus Lavinuke, and it's gonna be Master with Damscript versus Zero Dome.
Welcome.
And the two casters are gonna be Wrestler and Yosh. Hello.
Thank you for having me, Nabila.
It's great to be here. Hope I didn't get hot mic'd too hard.
No, you were fine.
That's nice. So yeah, today we do have a bunch of very fine matches.
I mean, indeed, we have the first one. It's gonna be in speaking of your division, Yash. It's gonna be Catnip versus Lavinuke. So to give a description for this match, or that were the stakes of it. Both of these players are fighting for entirely different goals. So Lavinuke currently is at the bottom of the division. If we can bring that up at some points, Lavinuke is currently at the bottom of the division with only 2 points. So if Lavinuke loses this match, if he loses this match, he is going to be relegated to the bottom lower division, no matter what the last match outcome is going to become. As for Catnip, if they win this match, they still have a possibility based on the other people results to potentially make it to the promotion match. And also, if they Catnip loses, they're gonna be in that very scary range of 3 people with 4 points, and potentially she can get relegated. So both of these people fighting for the different reasons, but both of them really need to win.
And you know what? Everyone loves a good win, and everyone loves a good game. But before we can get into the game, let's speak about the draft for a second. I do recall those players being avid drafters and banners and pickers of venues, so to speak.
Indeed, Lavinuke is banning Courtyard and restricting Modern, while Catnip banning Tayen and restricting nothing, interestingly enough. Usually I saw Catnip restricting the Redwoods, but deciding not to, I guess, in this sense. As, oh boy, we do have double terrace and double balcony, so in my opinion, it's just a big balcony and a balcony both being doubled, and we're
Uh,
gonna have pub and modern to finish it off.
Yeah, this looks like a very Sapphire draft to me. People really like playing those smaller venues in this division, and yeah, I'm actually pretty interested to see where the mind games will take us.
I mean, I guess let's not waste any more time, shall we? We're gonna start it, and it's gonna be Catnip playing on the spy side on terrace, playing as which one? Plane twin. There you go. I couldn't see the tie clip for behind, but we're gonna start it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Sure is at least one of the twins. A little bit of an AI control here, trying to wait to see maybe we can get in some nice places. Maybe we can get a low light even for some pathing if the sniper is not privy to that. But here the seduction target joins right next to us, so we get that first 51%, and we shall be watching the party carefully.
Indeed, I guess not a lot of other division I've seen picking Terrace or anyone at all, rather. And just one of these venues where if you're not totally on top, one of the things you have to be aware of is in my base opinion, is as a Dustin target just joins us a second time. It's a white flare, unfortunately.
This is beautiful. Oh, that's unfortunate. A white banana bread is a little bit on the sadder side, considering that you have said it is a big balcony. In your book, white banana bread is pretty much very sad. However, here, Lavinik will choose to hedge his bets, lowlights people out of the banana bread, but also highlights people in it, which is a pretty nice tech against spies who don't banana bread twice.
If Catnip notices this, I presume that she might try to do banana bread a second time at that point. But the problem with the second banana bread, of course, is that's gonna mean even more people potentially being out, and you don't ever want to do have that. So in any case, we do finish up the flirt. What I was speaking of flood. What I was about to say is that terrace is on the side of you really must be aware of tracking your flood. Same for balcony, since one of the common ways as we are heading to our safety off of Queen, and one of Thomas' missions is to do a purloin, so contact seducing purloin. And if it's a 50-50, you have to know which party goer can be finishing flood at any time, and potentially one of the more common places actually is basically being framed a purloin as well.
Ooh, Lavinuke really does not like queens. That is a second set of shifts on those lavender hats. And yeah, so far, Catnip waiting a little bit with the purloin. We don't need to send right away. And in fact, if we can wait for a more suspicious person in Eyes of the Lavinuke, that could be a very nice frame attempt here.
But a lot of people are already going to bars, so if we try to send now, I don't think that's gonna take. And at 30 seconds left, it's not likely we can do another purloin opportunity. Here we go. We're sending it to Disney.
We
I
can
don't think this is gonna take.
I mean, it doesn't take necessarily, but it does mean that another person gets a chance to send us if we're going to go for that. But so far, it doesn't look like we're trying to fish for it. We're instead gonna go to the statues. And I'm not sure what the ending will be. I guess it will be swap. There's overtime. Does Lavinuke notice? He does.
Yeah, indeed he does. Especially when since there's no purloin happening, you have a perfect angle to watch for it, and ambassadors in perfect safety. There's no other possible finishes that could be happening there. So
Uh,
just a nice controlled shot there.
Queen could finish Fleur, just to say. But yeah, it is very much trying to hope that Lavinuke does not look at us, and there are definitely a lot more important places to look on when the timer hits zero on Terrace. However, Lavinuke being a little bit cold, a little bit calm, and just noticing the things that are happening and punishing Catnip for them.
Indeed, the Lavinuke this time on the spy side on Terrace. I believe this was Lavinuke's pick. So I wonder. It's more interesting to see what the spies do if you pick Terrace. What you do on the spy side. Let's see if what Lavinuke has in store for us in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
I think what makes Terrace interesting for me, I know that we have talked about how Terrace is almost endemic to Sapphire, and since I am from the division, I am obligated to like Terrace. But in my opinion, that's the venue where you're the most obligated. Like, the venue where the spy also gets to watch the party and really take in what people in the party are doing and really get rewarded for it.
There's a lot
There's
of early visitors. Sorry to cut you off, but there's a lot of bar visitors. So setting up a purloin sometime very soon would be actually a good. It would be a good play in my opinion. But unfortunately, there's no one really to send. The conversation at the front there is crammed. We can't really stick in and send someone there. And I think this purloin is going to expire. So
continuing with the theme of frames that I have been setting up for the last bit. It also means a lot of people have Purloin and can send us Purloin in if need be. I'm not necessarily sure if Lavinuke is gonna be waiting for that, if Lavinuke is gonna be setting up for that chance, but if it hits just right, Catnip might just get full.
this is the first first flirt that we have 41%. As we do get rid of the highlight from the bar. So Catnip, she does use bar highlights as it seems. We do have a contact. It is a perfect contact as everyone is in it and giving at least 5 people reels. So
It
even
sounds
more mentally taxing for Catnip.
white test. There's no reaction from Catnip to the banana bread. You have mentioned that all of those highlights are bar highlights, so they will be coming down in just a few seconds as that minute after the bar rush ends. Or at least I would expect them to. But From the spy side, just taking it a little bit slow, yet another flirt. This time around, it's going to be a white test for 68% on that mission progress.
I would really like us to go to bar now to give ourselves an out of a potential purloin as we do go for another banana bread. Again, everyone's in it.
That is neat. That is
Oh!
neat. To explain, Catnip probably took note of people who were in the banana bread earlier and just didn't show it. But if you go back to the time where the first banana bread came off, you may notice that Boots doesn't actually have real banana bread, which I think has been the impetus here for the shot once the second banana bread is let off, and she's the only person who changed conversations.
Oh, and she's the one that had she had 2 briefcases, so she finished Prince and then went to in the conversation with DA, and then contact came immediately. So that's an unfortunate, that's an understandable shot, but and that's the thing is if you're assuming that every party goer could have flirt done if you don't track them well enough, that just is sometimes the eyes completing an inspect or potentially like fingerprints. That could be a reason enough to shoot, and unfortunately for Canada, that wasn't a correct shot. And Lavinuke is up 2-0.
Well, you have mentioned that people who pick the venue usually have some kind of a plan for it, and Lavinuke shows it very nicely with this little frame working just right. However, well, you don't just need to play well on the spy, you also need to play well on the sniper. Let's see how Catnip will do in her second spy game on Paris, playing as Selman in 3, 2, 1, playing it. But yeah, exactly as mentioned, Lavinuke noticing a few nice things, noticing that Boots has been going for those briefcases, and as soon as Boots gets into a conversation with Real, lets off a banana bread, and the dominoes fall down in a perfect sequence.
Indeed, unfortunately, the dominoes for Catnip are not in a very correct place. So seduction target is nowhere near to being flirtable unless we really like to chase. It would be nice if they sell again, but not the case this time. As again, a lot of early bar visitors. It could be again. We could try to do an early frame here, but
And a
not
lot
yet.
of people at the bar is a very weird situation because on one hand you really want that first banana bread nice early and to knock out as little people as possible because you want to start setting up for those mind games later on if you're into that, or you just want the mission done and you want to have as little lowlights as possible. However, everyone is at the bar, so it's not quite a position that you want to banana bread in. On the other hand, a lot of people have potential purloins now that you can just set up for and maybe just get away with it. However, for now, Catnip chooses to play it slow. Our first white action test on the flirt will net us 34% on that mission. And yeah, so far, not much is happening, at least from the spy side.
Yeah, and I worry from the last game that we had on a spy from Catnip is that we didn't give ourselves enough outs at the end game where things weren't going to our favor. And I would like to maybe get a print here at the bar, or even I would say sorry, put down the briefcase here, but not the case. As we're going to a BB, how many lowlights is that?
That looks like two lowlights that Lavinuke has taken. I'm not sure that is a perfect bunch of lowlights, but I think I can trust the sniper on this one. We do have a Duke who has split out of the conversation
And
with
we
wrong
deal with
banana bread.
Purloin.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Let the mind games off. Unfortunately, we don't really have flirt done or nearly done. We need to flirt at least twice to finish that mission. So
This
that
is
gives the sniper a lot of time to think about it.
I thought we had a fingerprint at that drink, but maybe I'm mistaken.
We do have a fingerprint on it, but unfortunately, we go right next to the person who sent us to the bar in the first place. Catnip might not remember it,
Oh my
but
god.
this makes her the spy in eyes of Lavinuke because she's the one doing things, and she has just returned to flirt with Pearls here. You do need to find that second fingerprint or to just run away and return to the conversation to finish flirt, but it does seem like Catnip is not choosing
There's
to
a
do any
difficult on
of
the
those.
briefcase, and there's a fingerprint on the statue, but we decide to not to try to get it, and
And
we come out.
there is a talk in the last few seconds by Pearls. So if we trigger overtime, probably Pearls get shot if we manage to do it sneakily enough. However, it is in that little period that allows for overtime to happen if Pearls is indeed finishing. So Lavinuke will just wait out the timer, and of course, we do see Catnip run out of it.
Indeed, a very I mean, it's a nice attempt from Catnip, and if we flirted a bit earlier, if we had that one flirt earlier, I think that could have been just a win. I don't think Lavinuke would have it was ready to shoot for that talk at the conversation circle, and just a tad unfortunate. Again, I don't think we gave ourselves enough outs. But anyways, Lamenu going up strong in his own double, 3-0. Let's see if we make it out a full sweep of his double. Going up as general, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That sure would be a very nice start at the least. And knowing that Catnip doubled balcony, and Catnip, I think Catnip is one of the few people who actually actively double balcony a lot, because I remember her doing that against her week 1 opponent, which was, if I recall correctly, which was Akoft. And she did enjoy a full sweep on balconies that time around, so balcony against Catnip, a little bit of a shady ordeal. So the bigger a lead you can assemble before going to it, the nicer it is for Lavinuke.
Indeed, I think not a lot of people picking. I think Shep was the one to pick balcony against Martini, and I mean double it, not just pick it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Scout in the Emerald division is the one to double it. Yeah, so not a lot of balcony enjoyers. I think it's the most banned venue or restricted venue overall.
Balcony is even harder to play than Terrace. There have been a lot of people saying that balcony isn't really a Spyparty venue per se, but look, let's leave those arguments until balcony actually starts. As of now, Lavinuke hasn't actually given us too many reasons to talk about this particular game. The only progress we have is 34% on the floor, and our delegate has just expired, so gonna be starting to put the pedal and just turning the crank up and just doing a little bit more right now.
I mean, but the problem is, again, if we don't have a second flirt, then at this point you'd really want to have at least the 68% flirt, or rather, if where only one flirt will finish, and at this point I think we're gonna be committing to the frame game.
Banana bread.
As we do go
Well,
for a contact. Again, everyone's in it.
we do go for a known fake, and it is a known fake for us, which on one side means that our frames are probably more likely to happen, and the sniper is more likely to believe that we are not the spy. However, the fact that we are left out of the banana bread and there's only a minute remaining means that I don't think we're committing to finishing it all. I think we're either timing out or there is a safe shot at the party.
And I think that there has been a lot of activity by the other party guests, so I don't think this frame is gonna be working out per se.
Lucky for us, a few people have gone to the bar, so that gives us a lifeline. If Irish, no, unfortunately moves away from us, but we will just go right next to her. We can get sent by her, but it will be in the overtime, and it won't work. So Lavinuke decides to try and fish for a better end game, tries to time it, but Catnip is all over it. 3-1?
Yeah, I think again I felt this, like I say again, a bit too slow, mainly in the flirt department again. Just again, we haven't let ourselves enough time to finish flirt or do other missions, and we just have to go for a desperate time at the end there. And Catnip is all over that.
I mean, we
And
have talked about it, and it shows in a lot of different places. Sapphire is just not really comfortable with doing things themselves. I can safely say it as a person in Sapphire who is afraid of doing things myself. So we go for places where some other people can finish missions for us. So we go to terraces, we go to balconies, which are in store for us next, and we just hope that the party does things. Unfortunately, this is why people in higher divisions usually tend to prefer bigger venues where they themselves do things. Uh, the party doesn't always do anything, and not always you have an option to frame. So unfortunately, here Lavinuke got caught in the wrong time and didn't provide enough for himself to cross the line.
throwing shade at the higher divisions. I mean, I'm sure the host is not gonna like that. But anyways, Catnip on her double this time, playing red dress on balcony, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And speak about a venue to not do things yourself on, huh? Balcony, a very small venue, a venue where people get shot for literally just talking, and a venue where an
Oh,
older player like Catnip would actually get a lot of benefits on the sniper by just watching people and watching those
oh,
little micro idle breaks
oh,
and some such. That was just a bug attempt, wasn't it?
oh! We'll get a hollow light for it, though.
Wow. Catnip going full in on
And but
the.
DA splits. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. But luckily on balcony, people don't really know yet. The double agent is not visible to the sniper, so it is not known that it's a fake for everyone. As we do
Catnip
hit a 27% flirt.
just full on committed to the age old strategy of no spy would ever do such a dumb thing. And it amazingly works.
Oh, we failed the bug again, but I don't think it is noticed.
So now there are two things that can happen. Um,
A while time ad that can happen.
Either the sniper shoots or we time out. I don't think we are willing to do missions ourselves now because we have done way too dumb things, and either Lavinuke has shot us by now because we are obviously the spy, or we're lollit, but the nerves here are gonna be playing up. And now we are scared of doing anything because we don't see that we ourselves are lollit.
And
However,
in the meantime, I think we noticed the time ad just way too late, and we we had the highlights. The only two people that could have,
okay,
by Lavinuke standards, be available, and one of them was the DA that split
you'd
during the
say that,
contact.
but let's look back to the lollit, to the time ad, because I believe that Queen was at the other window, and I think that was actually a correct shot for the time ad here. If you genuinely believe that is not.
When the highlights happen, it happens at minute 18, when both Twin and Queen are at the window. So I think that's the only time we noticed it.
Yes, but by the time it actually happens, Queen is at the window, and well,
I mean, true, but it's not the. It doesn't matter if when that time might happen. It's when you notice it and who you notice it with.
see, when you get casters who want to play the games themselves, you get casts where people just sleep through balcony. However, here I'm willing to go into every single little sniper laser twitch. We are gonna get our 5 minutes of analysis out of this 2 minute game, or
Uh,
we can just move on.
yeah, I think moving on is gonna be the correct decision, as we're gonna be picking up Alice as Lavinuke. Let's just start it in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Balcony tends to be one of those places where it's a meta inside a meta inside of a meta.
I mean, it is a venue where not much is happening in terms of missions, so the more levels of the onion you can peel around it, the higher your chance is at winning those little mind games, those little idle twitches. Everything can give away the true nature of the spy. And on balcony, where nothing else is happening, they are so much more obvious, so much more looked for.
Indeed, and thus far, I think we are committing to the strategy of let someone else get shot first. As okay, never mind. We do go for a flirt. It's a 51% green flirt, so I put up. If you can get away with 2 flirting on balcony, it's a godsend. Because 3 flirts or balcony are tough to get away with.
I mean, we have talked about it on terrace already, right? Letting someone else make the shots and, well, letting someone else get the shot is a very nice and powerful strategy. Unfortunately, it's not always gonna happen. And once it doesn't happen, you need a way out of the situation. Here, Lavinuke chooses to play it a little bit on the slower side, but you still need to have that flirt ready and have that flirt for the end
And
game.
Catnip taking a note out of Lavinuke's book, safety not off on us.
I mean,
Oh,
this is very much fair here,
oh,
considering.
that's unfortunate. Okay, now we have a space for flirt. This has to be a green. It is, but no matter.
Shot immediately. Ooh, I love this. So
That's a very solid shot from Catnip.
remember how we were talking about things being that much more obvious on balcony? It's the white banana bread, man. You just can't afford to do it because there's not many people talking at the same time on balcony, and well, if you white banana bread, you are talking during it. So the game Catnip is playing here is either it is someone else in the conversation getting a green away, or Lavinuke hitting a white test. And after Lavinuke just aggressively joins into the conversation and starts talking immediately afterwards, I feel like the choice, well, it's not clear, but it is very simple.
I mean, it's still a nice shot from Catnip, ties up the set. Let's see if she can manage to continue the momentum on it. Playing a salmon in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Taking a little bit of time to settle into a conversation, and our seduction target joins right next to us. That is a godsend, however. Only 34% on that flirt, so we will be going into a 3 flirt balcony territory here. And we are in a highlight for being one of the first people to talk around.
Yeah, sometimes people you don't tend to get a highlight, especially if you're the very first talker, but second or third one, yeah, you're getting an ire from a sniper that much more.
However, it does give you time to finish those 3 flirts. Even if you timer flirt and your seduction target doesn't leave or anything, I think there's still enough time within 2 minutes to wait out the cooldown twice and still get it just under the wire in the pinks, but not in the overtime. Here we are gonna white test the banana bread as well, and now we're public enemy number 1. We're probably dead for the next talk right here, and those shifts just confirm it.
Yeah, we're getting safety off onto our bald head, and unless an AI does something really strange, I don't think we're getting away with it. We're the only highlights. No one else is being paid attention to. Maybe
I like it.
Oh.
We are gonna leave. We are gonna go for a window flirt because we will need at least 2 flirts, right? That means either 2 talks in the conversation, which I don't think we're getting away with anyway, or
Yeah,
we
we got
will have
shots.
to go to a window.
Yeah, we got shot.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lavinuke is not willing to leave us with any degree of safety and just safety's off and takes the shot, which will be correct here.
Also, looking at that last path from Salmon,
Don't
definitely feels like
don't be silly. Who would ever watch Paths and Spyparty in Sapphire in 2023? A lot of people.
I watch it. Nebula would also agree that was a bad path, but we'll not talk about it anymore as we have this final game of Balcony. Laminu going to be playing as Smallman, and it would be nice to go up, keep the 5-3 lead coming to pub and Modern. Let's just see if that happens in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think it would be very nice. Lavinuke has had a pretty unfortunate season for a number of reasons, so a pick me up would be pretty good in the last few weeks.
It is white contact again. We kind of see small man's head in between the shoulders of all the people there. So If Lavinuke paid attention or who had the white contact previously, she might be aware of us again.
It is a pretty nice decision by Lavinuke to stop talk immediately, though. Usually you don't go for it because the taller characters have some very pronounced talking animations, and games that stopped suddenly doesn't.
Oh, it's a Purloin. I completely forgot this isn't a bug
Ooh.
game. This is a Purloin.
I love it. Okay.
As we do have a couple of rejects.
Okay. So we're not gonna go for the flirt setup already, and the chain is going on. There's at least us and Duke, which means that, well, it's all known information starting from now. Let's see if Catnip realizes which person did it.
Okay. And
It
just
does.
an immediate shot onto us. He doesn't even consider Duke almost. We
Oh
saw
boy.
the Purloin and an immediate shot onto Smallman.
It seems that while I was praising the immediate stop talk by Smallman, noting that only his head is visible and not his exaggerated talking animation, it seems like Catnip paid attention to that fact, and a white banana bread, even if the purloin is going to be green, I guess you're getting a shot either way.
I mean, that's just. What was surprising, there was no hesitation on that. The Duke was all in the chain as well, and we immediately slap onto Smallman and just shoot him.
Even as Duke is talking.
Yeah.
So Catnip was very sure here, and very correct as well. We are gonna go into the pub with a tight score, 4-4.
But pub is, I think, in my humble opinion, is just the better terrace. But let's see if the players agree with it. Catnip on the spy side, playing a Seek in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I can assure you that half of the commentators do not agree with that statement, but the other half of the commentators have made that statement. So let's keep the holy wars away from the cast for now. But
I'm
yeah,
not good to start a war.
I'm not going to convince you that Terrace is better than Pub. I am, however, gonna say that Pub is a venue where you're a lot more incentivized to just do things. You really need to complete those flirts, and you really are not gonna get those flirts if you're gonna be just sitting in a conversation like you usually are on Terrace, at least if those games are anything to go by.
Okay, we finally get into a conversation where Steve, here's the flirt. It is a white test, unfortunately.
Ow.
That's something that's pub, especially with the 245 variant. It is hard to get away with 3 flirts most of the time. And especially now that we wasted 45 seconds and we can't really time our flirt. We kind of have to get away and do other missions while we wait for this cooldown to expire.
Wait, I figured it out. You have the option to choose to do flirts. That's why you like Pub more. That's fair.
And this is just slander.
Well, be it slander or libel or whatever else, we are gonna be doing not enough. The seduction target is gonna leave before us, and there's only about 70 seconds left in the match, in the game, which is not looking good for our chances. We are gonna get the banana bread here, and unfortunately, we're literally the only person for whom it's real. Oh my god.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the sad thing, and
No, but literally the only person.
yeah,
If-
definitely the only. But it's the thing. If Lavinuke has noticed, as we are safetying off onto pearls, are we gonna attempt to frame Purloin here? It is. We are flaming a Purloin, and it's just an immediate shot.
It just works. So, who could we get sent by? The person
I don't
right next
think
to us
anyone.
as we go to the bar is Twin, but he's lolled from the banana bread. So, unfortunately, here, Lavinuke got a little bit lost in the sauce. We do see the list disappear, so it is a shot for the Purloin. But sadly, here. Oh, that is a very painful game to lose. I think, especially if you go into the replay back and you notice that we are the only person here for whom the banana bread is real, this just becomes very painful. Oh
Yeah,
no.
unfortunately, yeah, it is unfortunate that we kind of lost the plot of the party, and Unfortunately, we just shoot for an apparent scent of the purloin, which never happened, and Catnip takes the lead, going 5-4. And
Now, this is important. After this game, unfortunately, because of I think technical problems, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but players had to adjourn their game and replay it and finish playing it at a later date. So if this is the 10th game of the match for us, but it is the first game the players have played after. Well, I think it was like 4 days after or something like that. So yeah, all of the mental damage that has been done from the last game, I think it's gone by now, and I think we're just starting off with a clean slate. So Lavinuke still has a bunch of chances to play for,
I
and
mean,
well, can still
clean,
win.
yeah, clean slate may be off the mind, but definitely not the scores. Catnip is up 5-4. Lavinuke would really like to have a spy win here for potential win chances. Going up as Kane, starting in 3-2-1, playing it.
Well, let's see. A lot of commotion at the entrance, and unfortunately, we will find our seduction target on the other side of that door.
I would like to. I think I just go to the bar and flirt with them there. No, this conversation is pretty useless. I would. Oh, we do go for a bug. And is it seen? I don't think it's seen.
I mean, it's probably seen, right? It is very much on screen. Is it noticed, however, is a more interesting question. Shall we phrase it like that?
I mean, I
Um,
think seen and notice convey the same thing, but I'll get your point. It is visible, but is it noted?
oh, yeah, that is probably a better way to phrase it. However, Catnip does not shoot yet. And on one hand, you might be asking why. On the other hand, there's no way in hell that Kane is done now. So what Catnip is doing is just filing it off into a mental cabinet that Lavinuke has. Well, Kane has a bug, a very obvious one. It's probably Kane. But there is still a chance that it's not him somehow and someone else is the spy. And so far, Catnip is trying to hedge her bets and maybe also confuse Lavinuke a little bit, considering that this is the first game of the set as far as those players are concerned, because it has been replayed at a later date. Um, Lavinuke might not realize that the bug was very much seen and might just attempt to get away with dumber plays in game 12 if that happens.
I mean, we again flirt is. I don't think we can finish flirt anymore, as we are gonna grab a fingerprint, and oh, maybe we can grab a quick flirt here by the windows. General stops. Indeed, he does. It's a green test at that, 78%. But we maybe a timeout is warranted.
Ooh, Catnip protein all the way over. So Catnip definitely saw the bug and definitely knows that the bug has happened. So Lavinik is kind of a dead spy
Oh, red
by
flirt.
walking. Ow. And he still needs to find a way to finish if he wants to win this game, because Catnip, she might not be willing to like shoot really, but she's definitely willing to just let Lavinik time out, which I think is the case happening here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go for a timeout here. It is a white timeout as well.
The pink stop. The pink stop, unfortunately, it's not timed perfectly enough to coincide with green test, and also Catnip probably has her eyes up there. And yeah, this is going to be a match point for Catnip as Lavinuke eats a bullet for a time at second time in this match.
Yeah, Catnip apparently had her eyes and claws all over that bug, and maybe we're just I don't know. It's always hard to interpret what Spyparty noticed or didn't, but I imagine that the bug was noticed, but maybe not entirely, but maybe just like a credit of it.
So you could say that the bug was noticed, or you could say that Catnip is blind. I'm not going to let you choose, but I'm not going to influence your choice, but I know what option I'm picking for this game.
All right, we shall keep it a secret as
Yeah,
Catnip was already secured a tie, and moving on to the final venue, which is modern. Yeah, excuse me if I cut you up there, Yash. Want to?
yeah, let's keep the cat in the bag for at least one more game. Maybe even two. Lavinuke still can get a tie here, which would be very nice. Every point matters down here. And Lavinuke would very much prefer not to get relegated.
Indeed, Catnip as general, starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it. This is quite the shift from the venues that we had. Pub, terrace, and balcony, all the smaller venues. In here we have all one of the largest venues space-wise.
Wait, aren't you gonna say that Modern is the biggest balcony? I thought that was what you were setting up.
I see. I don't have the
It's like a
foresight.
Pokemon evolution. You have balcony, and then you have terrace, and then you have modern. Just grow up.
I think double modern. That one is the biggest balcony. In anyways, we do get the product for 51%. Oh,
Pretty.
bug. Oh no. Okay, maybe not a best choice to do it anyways.
Now, the most annoying part here is because it is such a big venue. Am I'm not gonna allow myself to read into every teeny tiny laser movement because I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more devoted to just mechanically catching the spy in the act rather than trying to read into every single little movement of every single little guest. So this is just a bigger venue, but a lot less to look at.
We
Which is
do
best.
finish the 2 flirt as the seduction target leaves immediately afterwards, and we get a contact. I think we only got 2 or 3 lowlights out of that, so really nice contact as well. Quite a few reels as well. So solid start from Catnip. I imagine in the next minute this book is gonna go to I imagine the red shelf, since that's closer to blue and maybe the sniper is gonna be less noticed in there.
It's definitely a really nice start.
As indeed it's not, it's going to green.
Well, so it is. So it is. It will still count as a valid microfill. And to note, general matches quite nicely with the books, so maybe it's just fair. But yeah, that is our fourth.
I mean third, sure.
I mean, we still need inspects.
I mean, I think maybe a Purloin would be a better possibility, but Inspect still I think can work, but with a minute 30 left, maybe behaviorally a sniper can still oh, we get a highlight? I
Uh,
wonder what for.
I'm actually not quite sure. I believe it's one of those little behavioralish things that are not inherently true, like taking a drink out on gallery, but that are quite likely to happen for the spy. That
I
position.
like this going aggressive. We immediately go statue to statue and just forcing the sniper to shoot us. And
You know what's the funniest part? Catnip herself shoots for this 100% of the time.
it doesn't seem that Lavinuke shoots for Edwin Town, and I think that we just are not aware that the transfer happened. Mission win counters at 1 second, and indeed, Catnips takes the set 7-4.
Yeah, I think the highlight was for Wisdom that little spot outside just by the edge of the map, which is which I think Martini has dubbed a spy spot, and well, I don't know if many people remember it, but Levinik sure does. But while Catnip saw it as an invitation to just start sending it and completely rush, trying to confuse Lavinuke, Lavinuke did not actually seem to have the transfer marked on our progress sheet. So, for what he thought, it's just a 3 mission completion, and he was just waiting for the 4th.
Yeah, just solid. Just unfortunately, Lavinuke not being able to track which book that general had, and I think that slipped completely clean. And with that, Catnip is gonna grab herself a third win with gonna be up with 6 points, and still with an earshot of being able to reach the Sapphire devotional finals, depending on the results of the other games. While Lavinuke, unfortunately, they cannot.
Is also
They
within reach, but not of promotion, of
no,
relegation, which is not a thing that you want
yeah,
on yourself.
Lavinuke just unfortunately, no matter the last match, they're gonna be relegated. No matter the result of the last match, so unfortunate for him, but that's just the reality of it.